Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Reef. So, we're doing a thing today. After a lot of thought and consultation, I feel that his best option is to just go into the tank, and we'll finish working on his food training in here. I've seen no signs of disease for 3 months, honestly, and so we're gonna take a calculated risk. So here we go. Maui's going into the big tank today. So this is a good process to go over, is you just want to kind of let them introduce themselves into the water, as opposed to just dumping them out of whatever container they were in. It's a lot less stressful for them. Especially if it's a new habitat, letting them introduce themselves at the speed that they want to be introduced will allow them to just be easier and less stressed and adapt to their new home when they want to join their new home, not when you want them to join their new home. And remember, the biggest dependent on a fish's health is stress. So we always want to keep the stress down for all of our fish, our fishy little friends. Jeez, he's moving around. He's a little fish. And so we want to keep the stress down as much as we can. So no just straight dumping in to tanks. So far nobody's been bothering him. Oh, he just ate something. I think, right? Of course, I glance away for a second and I see him peck at something. Now we do have a just filthy amount of copepods in the tank. As I've been heavily stocking them for the past 3 months. But isn't he just a gorgeous creature? Come on now. Maui, how do you like your new home? Are you hunting for us? There was one. Oh, he sees himself now. So this is to be expected too. He's never really seen himself as obvious as this one is. So more likely than not, he will screw around with this for quite some time. Just looking at himself. Until he realizes that it's him. but then he'll go about his business. But I do love seeing that he's so active already. And his coloration is just gorgeous. Come on, phone. So our next step, obviously then tomorrow, is going to be seeing where we can train him to come and get his food. That's assuming he isn't, picking the pods away. As I do still see a large population on the panels. So if there's so many that they're all over the panels, they're also all over the rocks. Which means that he's just more interested in himself right now than going out and finding food. Which is okay. He's a big, tough fish. So this is to be expected. He wants to make sure that his territory is secure. And yes, I know, I really need to clean this. He spotted something he wants to eat. And now we're back to hunting. So you can see there, now that he's up, like his belly's kind of shrunken in a little bit, so. Like it's not super emaciated, but I'd like him to have a much fatter belly. And he will, now that we can more easily control, and he has more that he can actually physically hunt. If he chooses to do so. Once he gets his act together and stops, trying to screw with himself. Because there are pods everywhere. So he has more than enough to eat. He just has to get the urge to go do it. Huh. So, the other thing I did today was I just changed out the CO2 absorbing media because our pH was 8.1. That's kind of where I let it drop to before I changed the media out. So that was a really quick little bit of work, which wasn't honestly much at all. And the other thing on our list is this needs to get cut back, as we don't want it encroaching on the rock and climbing up the rock, because then it's going to be a lot harder to remove and crop back. So we need to maintain it and harvest it while it's still on the easy to remove sand bed. Maui, can you go do things other than look at yourself? please. But that's all I have for today then. I will give you an update tomorrow or later today or whichever. Okay? Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.